Hello, grade 11s. In this lesson, we'll be covering the poem Midterm Break by Seamus Heaney. Now, what exactly is this poem Midterm Break all about? You see, it's about the death of Heaney's infant brother, who was named Christopher, and how the people, including the poet himself, reacted to this news and this tragic event. So the poem is specifically written from the point of view of a young Heaney who was summoned from school after his brother had died. Let's read the poem. Midterm break. I sat all morning in the college sick bay, counting bells, nailing classes to a close. At 2 o'clock, our neighbors drove me home. In the porch, I met my father, crying. He had always taken funerals in his stride, and big Jim Evans saying it was a hard blow. The baby cooed and laughed and rocked the pram when I came in, and I was embarrassed by old men standing up to shake my hand and tell me they were sorry for my trouble. Whispers informed strangers I was the eldest, away at school, as my mother held my hand in hers and coughed out angry, tearless sighs. At 10 o'clock, the ambulance arrived with the corpse, stanched and bandaged by the nurse. Next morning, I went up to the room. Snowdrops and candles soothed the bedside. I saw him for the first time in 6 weeks, paler now, wearing a poppy bruise on his left temple. He lay in the 4-foot box as in his cot, no gaudy scars. The bumper knocked him clear. A 4-foot box, a foot for every year. By Seamus Heaney. So midterm break. Let's have a look. I sat all morning in the college sick bay. So that I tells us that he feels a sense of isolation, and it also has this immediate suggestion of sickness and death as he's sitting there in the college sick bay with the bells knelling. Here we have onomatopoeia, that idea of funeral bells, and these funeral bells knelling, making that typical funeral sound. Then at 2 o'clock, our neighbors drove me home. So you see that there's a long, drawn out event, giving this poet a lot of time to think about the events of this particular day. Then in the porch, I met my father crying. So there's a sense that the father is out of the grief of the house because he's hiding his feelings. He doesn't want people to see him crying. He's hiding his feelings. And now the poet continues to say he had always taken funerals in his stride. So death is not a new experience. They have experienced death before. However, not like this. They've not experienced death in this way. And then he continues to say, Big Jim Evans saying it was a hard blow. So it's cruel words to say, though not done out of spite. And it's a pun as well. The baby cooed and laughed and rocked the pram. So the baby is innocent. That baby is completely unaware of the events that are taking place and the sadness and the grief and the loss. That baby has no idea. When I came in, and I was embarrassed by old men standing up to shake my hand. So, although Heaney has taken on the role of an adult, we can see he still has the feelings of a child. He's still young. He still has the feelings of a child. And tell me they were sorry for my trouble, which is a euphemism. And then there's whispers of informed strangers. I was the eldest. We see a sense of secrecy here through the whispers. You see, Heaney attended a boarding school, So he had been absent for the actual event. Possibly he's feeling guilt because it says, away at school as my mother held my hand in hers and coughed out angry, tearless sighs. Here we see enchantment. So there's a suggestion that this mother has been crying for a while. She has really been crying for a while. And at 10 o'clock, the ambulance arrived. Here we see again this idea of a long day. And ambulances usually represent help. But we see this long stretched out day as if time is just slow and dragging on. Then with the corpse stanched and bandaged by the nurse. This removes the sense of humanity from the body. He is no longer his brother. They could also implicate or show the idea that they tried to save him, because to stanch means that you try to stop the blood. But in this case, it may also even refer to stopping tears in the context of this poem. The next morning, I went up to the room, snowdrops. So there's this transferred epithet. We'll get to what this is exactly, but bear that in mind. This is a transferred epithet. And candles stood soothed the bedside. So it's no longer a bedroom. It's now a place of mourning. And it's calm and relaxing compared to the other rooms. And then for the first time in 6 weeks, paler now. So you see there's a sense of guilt. A realization that things happen while you are away. And he only has a memory of his brother prior to this tragic event. Wearing a poppy bruise on his left temple. Seems unreal, as if it could have been removed. Poppies signifies remembrance. He lay in a 4-foot box. Note the euphemism here. He does not mention a coffin. He calls it a 4-foot box, as in a cot. Here, a simile. Remember similes, like or as. A cot for a child is a place of safety. No gaudy scars. The bumper knocked him clear. So he actually looks perfect. There's no signs of trauma or violence. And the bumper that knocked him clear means it was a sudden death. He died on impact. And here is something that is very, very sad. A 4-foot box. A foot for every year. So this signifies the shortness or the brevity of the child's life. This child was only 4 years old when he died. So looking at this from, let's say, a bird's eye view. In that first stanza, I sat all morning. Looking at it, there's a sense of isolation, the immediate suggestion of sickness and death, onomatopoeia, and the long drawn-out event, giving him lots of time to think. So this is a table that gives you a full overview of the entire poem along with its analysis. So it may be a good idea if you were to copy this into your notebook to make it easier as you study this poem. Or if you've added the notes in the poem, perfect. But this gives you this bird's eye view of what this entire poem is about and the entire analysis of the poem. But now, a few questions to test your knowledge of this poem and to ensure that you are ready and prepared for your upcoming tests and exams. Now, for this poem, the question may be asked, what is unusual about the title of this poem? So take some time to answer these questions. Pause the video and then come back to check whether your answers are correct. Do this for each of the questions that are based on this poem. Let's begin. So the title Midterm Break suggests a holiday of sorts, a time of enjoyment. So in reality, the poem deals with a time of grief and emotional upheaval. Looking at stanza 1, how do you think the poet was feeling? And quote to support your answer. So the poet is feeling isolated from his family. It says, I sat all morning in the college sickbay. Also, he is picked up by neighbors, furthering his isolation. He has had many hours to contemplate the events that have occurred, all morning until 2 o'clock. Why does the poet choose the word knelling when writing about the school bells? It's onomatopoeia. It represents the sound of funeral bells. What type of school did the poet attend? And give reasons for your answer. He attended a boarding school with the words, I was the eldest away at school. And what did the poet find strange about his father's behavior? His father is not his practical self exhibiting emotion. Usually he took funerals in his stride, suggesting that he was used to death. Why is what Big Jeb Evans says an unfortunate pun? As the child was killed literally by a hard blow, while the family are, all metaphorically, hurt. Why was the baby the lucky one that day? The child is innocent, oblivious to the events and grief which surround it. And why was the poet embarrassed by the old men shaking his hand? This is an adult means of communication. Heaney is, despite his persona, a child, so he is unsure of how to react to such formality. What was surprising about his mother's behavior? His mother seems incapable of crying, and her grief manifests itself through anger. Contrast the reactions of both parents. With whom do you think is the mother angry? The roles of the parents seem to have been reversed, with the father taking on the more feminine emotional role. The mother could be angry with any number of people, the driver, her husband who was meant to be the protector, or even her deceased child. What is unusual about the poet's use of the phrase, the corpse? Answer, fully. The word corpse suggests that Heaney seems detached. He does not see this body as being that of his younger brother. Rather, he has dehumanized the body in an attempt to cope with his grief. And how does this contrast with the language describing when he is alone with his brother's body? When he is alone with the body, and indeed with his grief, Heaney recognizes it to be his brother. He calls the body him, admitting his emotional attachment. And how does the atmosphere change in this section? In this section, Heaney seems more at peace. The transferred epithet of snowdrops and candles soothe the bedside, seem to provide him with some comfort. The room is a place of peace and contrasts greatly with the busy scene that the young Heaney walked into. Comment on the line, wearing a poppy bruise on his left temple. The word wearing suggests that this injury seems almost unreal, as if it could be removed at any point. A poppy signifies remembrance and highlights the effect that this event has had on Heaney's life. Comment on the simile in the third last line. Likening the coffin to a cot, he lay in the 4-foot box as in his cot, symbolizes how peaceful and safe the child looked. He seemed at peace, as if sleeping. Still, the death seems unreal. Comment on the honesty of the last section compared to the embarrassment earlier in the poem. Heaney is able to be more honest in this section as he is alone and is no longer required to be strong for his distraught parents. So he's allowed to be a child away from the adults who were treating him as if he were older. Prior to this, It almost seems like Heaney is the father figure, as his own father is out with the family. What do you think of the last line of the poem? It's a poignant image. Gives the idea of the brevity of life. The use of box rather than coffin again suggests that Heaney is detached from the reality of what has happened. Comment on the poet's use of euphemism in the poem. What is the effect of this? Sorry for the trouble, or sorry for my trouble, is an example of a euphemism, and it suggests that people are almost afraid to mention the real truth. It seems almost cliched and provides little comfort. Also, there is a suggestion that trouble will pass, yet this grief will always be there. So, throughout this poem, it's important to note how young Heaney felt. What does he feel in these moments? Firstly, there's guilt. I saw him for the first time in 6 weeks, paler now, so he feels guilty. Whispers inform strangers I was the eldest, away at school. Then he felt isolated. I sat all morning in the college sick bay. At 2 o'clock our neighbors drove me home. Embarrassed. I was embarrassed by old men standing up to shake my hand. He was in denial, wearing a poppy bruise, with the corpse. He was confused. In the porch I met my father, crying. He was also comforted. Snowdrops and candles soothed the bedside. So he went through a plethora of emotions as he was dealing with the events of this tragic passing of his brother. So there's a few poetic techniques that you need to take note of within this poem. There is enjambment, so the running on of the thought from one line, couplet or stanza to the next without a pause, so there's no full stop, comma, etc. So the purpose of enjambment is a continuation of a sentence or clause over a line break. If a poet allows all the sentences of a poem to end in the same place as regular line breaks, a kind of deadening can happen in the ear, and in the brain too, as all the thoughts can end up being the same length. Enjambment is one way of creating interest through the unusual sound of a sentence running on when you expect it to pause. This suggests how Heaney was feeling at the time, that is, confused and unsure. So this is something that is perfect to use within a poetry essay, where they might ask you imagery, tone, diction, mood, or they could ask you the techniques that are used. But this is brilliant to use within your poetry essays. Then there's a transferred epithet that we mentioned earlier. So this is a device of emphasis in which a characteristic of one thing is attributed to another closely associated to it. So the calm mood is beautifully shown in the transferred epithet. Snowdrops and candles soothed the bedside. So literally, they soothed the young Heaney. Then there is euphemism. So this is the act or an example of substituting a mild, indirect or vague term for one that is considered harsh, blunt, or even offensive. So now, will you be able to redraw this table in your notebook, along with its definition of what these figures of speech are, and then be able to find an example and its effect within this poem? This will greatly help you in preparation for your tests and exams, especially for your poetry essays. So it would be a great idea if you redrew this table along with its definitions and know what each of these figures of speech are, and then try to find examples within the poem and then explain their effect. So take some time, pause the video, redraw this table, and then come back to check your answers. So let's go. So alliteration, 4-foot box, the effect, it mirrors the idea of time passing. For assonance, bells knelling. The effect, it mirrors the sound of bells. The couplet, no gaudy scars, the bumper knocked him clear. A 4-foot box, a foot for every year. So it signifies the end of the poem, the act of death followed by the realization. For metaphor, wearing a poppy bruise. The wearing suggests the bruise could be removed. Then you have onomatopoeia, the bells knelling, as you know, and then also the baby cooed and laughed. So it reminds of funeral bells, but the cooing then shows us innocence, happiness, in contrast to everything that was happening around this baby. Then you have pathos, angry, tearless sighs. I met my father crying. So it signifies a pure grief, all cried out, a child's realization that adults are flawed, they have emotions, etc. Now, personification you will not find in this poem. There is not personification, so that one will remain empty. But you do have a simile. He lay in the 4-foot box as in his cot, which is a suggestion of safety. The child looks at peace as if sleeping. And then there's the symbolism. So we see wearing a poppy bruise again. Poppies signifies remembrance. And that is the poem Midterm Break by Seamus Heaney.